everybody, this is April Lopez with Creative 8 Team. I want to share with you today two elements of embossing. The first one is the importance of an embossing buddy, and the second one is how to use heat and stick embossing powder. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my embossing buddy all over my cardstock, and right now I'm using a 3.5 by 5 inch piece of crumb cake cardstock, and I used that embossing buddy liberally. I don't think you can use too much of it in my opinion. I'm using Versamark ink, and I'm using the girl from Beautiful You stamp set, one of the girls anyway. I'm just going to ink her up well, and then I'm just going to stamp her. Give a good pressure. Now I'm going to use copper embossing powder, and I just put that embossing powder all over her and then dump off the excess. There you go. You can see right away that there isn't any excess embossing powder on her. So to save y'all listening to the heat tool in your ear, which I'm sure is not pleasant, I'm going to show you the magic of cameras. This is what she looks like when you use that embossing buddy. You can see that all you get is image, embossed image, no extra little granules. And this is my finished card. Now, if you didn't use that, you can see the extra little granules on her hand right here on the side. This was done without using an embossing buddy. It's a big difference. So an embossing buddy is very important. Okay, let's move on. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to use heat and stick. I used Cool Treats, and I loved the little ice cream. I thought the ice cream was super sweet. No pun intended. So I went ahead and stamped it because y'all all know how to do that. And I used the Peekaboo Peach Ombre stamp pad to get the variation of color on my creamsicle there. And then I used Early Espresso ink for the saying and crumb cake ink for the little stick. Now, I want to stamp on top of that, so I'm going to use the same image and the Versamark ink, and this really is easy with the photopolymer stamps. So I'm just going to come right down on that, give it nice firm pressure. I find if I just stay there a few seconds, it just helps that ink to evenly distribute across the image. So there we go. Now when you use heat and stick, I always pour it on. Nice coverage there. And then take off the excess. But it's important, and you are going to hear the embossing tool for this one, I'm sorry. But the important thing is to heat from underneath the image. So I'm just going to take that tool and go right underneath. And it's just going to melt. I'll speak up a little bit. It's just going to melt that embossing powder down into the cardstock. And I want to use some Dazzling Diamonds. And I just pour it on because that is now sticky. And you get that nice little sheen, glittery sheen. I love that, love glitter. Now to just kind of set that in place, I use the heat tool one more time, and always from underneath. I just kind of go over it. And again, that's just going to draw everything down into the cardstock, so it makes it so that you can rub it and it's not going to really go anywhere. Okay? So the finished card on that, the first one I did was this card right here. Whoops. But then I went one step further and I did this card. Added a few layers, and that was it. And it just turns out really sweet, fast, simple, and cute. I hope that gives you a little understanding with embossing today, and that the tips are useful for you. Have a great day.